We're at an inflection point, 20 years behind us, and there's a lot still to do, and there's a lot to celebrate. And as you walk the waterfront now, what seems to be the missing pieces? What is to come that you're really excited about?
Well, obviously there are pieces that need to be completed. So the East Bay front, Bayside, Quayside are all in development right now. But we have these tantalizing bits like Sugar Beach and Sherburne Common and the promenade along Chorus Quay, and we know what's coming.
I believe we can build a community which truly attracts the citizen of the future. Sustainability, environmental sustainability, innovation.
Those things are on the top of our minds, and I feel like I've sat in so many public spaces now with people who I don't know consider their profession to be in any way connected to urban design or development, but who are intensely interested in what's happening on the waterfront. So you have this actual public discourse. It is a communal conversation now at a scale that we haven't had, and I think that's part of the legacy that you guys are creating.
Well, I think that the tradition of engagement created a kind of gold standard for engagement in the city. And people who have experienced it want more of it. And that starts to spread beyond just what's happening on the waterfront. People who've come to the waterfront from other communities then start saying, well, shouldn't we be having these conversations in our own communities?
And one of the things that I'm really pleased with the consultation process is that young people feel that not only can they say something, they really feel they're being listened to, and that the community and the leaders are taking into account what they say.
The kind of environmental question for many young people today is, will we have a planet to live on? And the imperative to have a considered design around the cleaning and care of our Earth. So I wonder, where are those moments where you're really feeling hopeful about our environmental action on Toronto's waterfront?
Waterfront Toronto has contributed to a continuous process of pushing the envelope. By setting the standard, by leading the way, by showing it's possible, by pulling developers in who are willing to build to those standards, who will then develop new other buildings to those standards.
When we looked at what was possible here on the sustainability, which is on the environmental side, we have the ability to showcase that. Not only to showcase it, but really to do it, and with the young people who are concerned about their future.
What is on the edge? What are we looking at that is still not accepted as standard practice, but we're seeing being taken up, because the tools that we had for the last 20 years are not going to be the ones that move us forward.
Waterfront Toronto is working on ways to retain stormwater, use it for irrigation, or cleaning it. So Sherburne Common has a feature that cleans stormwater before it gets put back into the lake. So these are all environmental equity pieces. Another very important piece is, what about the people who live here? What do they need? And one of the things that we know that Waterfront Toronto has been very, very committed to is creating affordable housing. Every development has a commitment of 20% affordable housing, and now we're hoping to see that expanded even to the missing middle housing as well, because people have to be able to live here. You look at what are the conditions for creating good jobs, what are the conditions for supporting entrepreneurial activities. All those kinds of things are what are in the mix right now, thinking about living, shopping, working, having fun, actually having the capacity to look at all those things together to create the new kind of city that really works for the people who live in the city and works for the environment too.
I love that vision. And I also wanted to say that as a young mom, I think the attention that's being paid to some of the social equity issues and some of that deep thinking around how everyone will have access to this waterfront, how they will be part of this place, and what are the barriers there, and how do we make a place for people, that gives me a lot of hope.
What I'd love to see is that we provide the infrastructure that allows everyone to get to their maximum capacity.
I feel so privileged to have sat down with two people who are not normally in front of the camera, but who have been instrumental in making this vision for the waterfront happen. If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to walk this incredibly diverse, interesting, storied, beautiful, continuously evolving waterfront that is now our home.
I really do think, Cindy, that the city owes you a lot. You've been here for the last 20
This is a
years.
mutual admiration society, Bob.
It's been terrific.
It started with you.
It's been
Thank
terrific.
you.
Love a good
Thank you.
mutual admiration society.